Mane Padme Om Mane Padme Om Om Mani Padme Om Om Mani Padme Om. Om. O Great Spirit, Namaste. Most beloved and precious Divine Mother, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, most beloved Kuan Yin, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, as you reach out your 10,000 arms in compassion, we call upon thee. O Divine Mother, O Divine Mother, O Divine Mother, Señora de Guadalupe, Our Lady of Lourdes, O Divine Mother Durga Ji, O Divine Mother Lakshmi Ji, O Divine Mother Mary, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, we call upon thee in all of the countries which thou hast blessed, in all of the states of consciousness in which thou hast lived. We call upon thee to pour forth thy blessings upon us, to pour forth the feminine blessings upon each of us, that we might lift, that we might ascend, that we might become an ever greater blessing to all of those who enter our aura. May our time be blessed. May it be fruitful. May it be meaningful to each of us. May the hurts of the past dissolve away in these moments together. May the golden dewdrops of Anandic bliss pour forth upon thee as a new breath comes forth, as a new time comes forth, as a new life comes forth. Namaste Ji. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. And in many parts of the world, welcome to Mother's Day, a day in which we honor the divine feminine. Many of us in the form of the mother who gave birth to us. But the divine feminine is not just the mother who gave birth to you and me. It is not just mama, mima, madre. The divine feminine is within you. It is a state of consciousness within you. Within each soul, there is a divine feminine and the masculine. The feminine, the mystics say the feminine is where the power resides. The great mystical power of life resides within the feminine. In the world we say, oh, no, it's the masculine. No. The masculine holds the power, but it does not move. It is the movement of the divine feminine, the turning of the feminine, the smile of the feminine, the compassion of the feminine that releases the logical masculine power, the power of the energy. And so we have to say, wow, what does that mean? What does it mean to say that the power is within the feminine and that you have it also? It means that within you is the beautiful power of your creation, of creativity, of the capacity to bring love, of the capacity to bring comfort, of the capacity to bring warmth into your life and into the lives of those whom you love, or into the lives of all of those whom you encounter, who walk into your aura. Today, the moon has moved into the zodiacal sign of Cancer. The nurturing sign of the zodiac. Cancer is a sign of the zodiac associated with the mother and with the moon. Well, the moon grows, expands and contracts, expands and contracts. The view from the earth is that the moon is expanding and contracting and expanding and contracting. There is movement. The moon is the emotionality. Cancer, the zodiacal sign of Cancer is quite interesting. I've spent a lot of time meditating and reflecting about Cancer because it is the opposite polarity of many of the planets that are in my natal horoscope. And so I've been trying to understand for many years the opposite and what the opposite means and the beauty and balance of that which I am not. And I've come to recognize that in Cancer, there is this dichotomy, as it is for nurturing, as it is for the mother. The dichotomy is to protect, to hold, to nurture, to control, to want to care for. And at the same time, there is a need to teach and share the greatest of the yoga asanas, the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. Tough, isn't it, to want to hold and control? Now, the mystical significance of anyone who is a mother, and for us, our mothers, is that as we are incarnating into the earth, first we circle around the spinal column of the mother, of the woman, and we decide, yes, this karma, this person has the karma that is most closely linked to what I need in this incarnation. 3 moons you circle around. 2.5 moons you circle around, and you can still get out. You can stay, this isn't right. This is not the right fit for me. And you often hear women will say, well, I felt like I was pregnant, but I'm not. Then the 3rd month comes and there is a linkage in. And at this time, the father is drawn in. This is why they say in many Eastern cultures, when a child is born, it is already a year old. They recognize it 3 months prior to the physical manifestation in the body. Now, what is this lunar element that we need to attune to? What is it we're trying to learn when we're learning from the mother? To understand and to neutralize the emotions of the mind. To understand and to neutralize the emotions of the mind, and thus to neutralize karma, or to soften karma, the karmic events that come into our lives. For any event, any occurrence, any state of consciousness that flows into your mind that is lunar, is emotional, is subjective. Subjective. Not an objective reality. Now, you may say, so what? So what? 90% of your experiences are lunar experiences. They're the moon. It's your emotional reaction to something. It's your emotional reaction to a thought, a projection, a concern, an anticipation of something that is going to happen in the future. 90% of your life is this. And so it is vital to say, oh, well, wow, 90% of my life projects what may happen, or replays what I think I remember happened. And so there must be a spiritual guiding light that one can follow. And the Upanishads offer a beautiful, beautiful guiding light. In a recognition that the problems that we encounter in life begin with a splintering between what we think, what we speak, and what we do. Remember, may my word be one with my thoughts, and my thought be one with my word. O Lord of love, let me realize you in my consciousness. May I speak the truth. May it protect me. May I realize the truth and translate it into my daily life. Beautiful words. But how do we live them? What do we do? Where are the obstacles? The emotions that arise in the mind are the obstacles. You are not your mind. You are not the emotions. Emotions are eternal. Any thought that rises in your mind, it is because at this time, in this place, you are relative to that thought. You are relative to it. If you weren't relative to it, it wouldn't rise in your mind. If you weren't relative to it, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't know it. Now, I don't know if that's true. Well, I'll tell you. Try an experiment. Years ago, Pranananda gave this experiment, and it happened at a time when we were looking for a car. And he said, anytime you reach a point in life where you're going to do something, like you want to buy a car, or you want to make something for dinner, or you want to do something that's out of your routine, watch your mind and see what happens. And yeah. And all of a sudden, at that time we were getting newspapers, paper newspapers. And all of a sudden, every Sunday, the first thing I would do, never had done this before, first thing I would do when I opened the paper is turn to the car section. All of a sudden I had this interest in cars. As soon as we got the car, never saw the car section again. A few years after that, we needed to look at a roof for the house. And all of a sudden, I'm driving all around the city looking at roofs. Oh, what kind of roof do they have on their house? Make a decision about the roof. The roof is gone from my consciousness. You need to be aware of new thoughts that come into your mind and see how your consciousness expands when you first have a thought arise. You know, when I was looking for my harp, all of a sudden, every kind of stringed instrument that you could imagine, I kept seeing and wanting and thinking about and reflecting upon. When I settled on my beautiful harping, those thoughts demagnetized is the right word. They don't dissipate, but they are not magnetized to your consciousness the same way. Now, in our relationships with others, there's often a problem that occurs. These emotions arise in the mind. Maybe you are feeling, your personality is feeling a little insecure about something. Or you become angry because you see somebody that has something that you would like and you don't have. Or you see their life and you think that you know how their life is and you want their life without having any real idea of what it is. There's a disconnect. In other words, there's a disconnect between the reality and what you think of as the reality. But where the problem comes in is you'll have a thought, and the thought might be, oh, my sister gets everything. I don't get anything. But you don't say that to her. You know, the thought might be, I really resent my sister. I really resent my sister. But you don't say that. You say, you know, Mom likes you better than me. Or you say, you know, our younger sister loves me more than she loves you. She spends more time with me. She calls me. She doesn't call you. You start to say words that really aren't connected directly with what it is, the state of consciousness that's in your mind. Instead of stopping and thinking, well, what do I need to do to bring this into balance? What do I need to do to correct this? Thinking, these thoughts that have risen in my mind, the thought gets twisted, emotionally twisted, and it can become very ugly, my dear. Very, very ugly. The fighting that you see among siblings, people who were born of the same parents, they chose the same parents, different time, different place, but same parents. The fighting, the arguing, the disrespect for each other. You know, and they treat their colleagues at work better than they treat their siblings, better than they treat their loved ones. Or they treat their neighbor better than they treat their parents. I am not saying that there are not reasons that people become unhappy with other people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we need to observe our states of consciousness. And we need to work to eliminate, to neutralize those fearful, constrictive, cruel states of consciousness. There's nothing worse than somebody coming up and saying, hello, how are you? And you know that they're thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't run into you on the street. You know, you can feel it. You can feel the radiation, you know, something vibrating from them. So even if they're speaking pleasantly, you can feel that there's something coming differently from their head. It should be a warm. You should be able to learn to be warm, to be thinking of the other, to become congruent in your thoughts, in your speech, and in your actions. Kriya Yoga allows for you to do this. It assists you. The practices that we have in Kriya Yoga assist you to do this. You and you alone can do it. You know, we call upon the Divine Mother today because we look to the Mother. We look to the Divine Feminine as a source of nurturing. You're carried in the womb of a woman. So far, in this cycle of Earth existence, you're carried in the womb of a woman before you are born into the earth. So there's a strong linkage to the feminine, a strong linkage that feels like, oh, I am fed. This is the source of my being fed. This is the source of my being nurtured. This is the source of my love coming from this feminine, this divine feminine. And then there's a separation, and we long to go back again and again and again to that which we first trust, to which we first believe in. Now, some have greater difficulties than others. Some are incarnated with mothers who are not able to nurture them, who are not able to comfort them, who are not able to train them, to give them the skills that they need. It's okay. You can still learn. There's still an opportunity. The world is filled with teachers. The world is filled with people to nurture you, to help you to learn to love yourself, to nurture yourself, to be good to yourself. One of the most important moments in my life was sitting at the back of the Temple of Kriya Yoga in Chicago on Kedzie, very back of the temple. And Swami Pranananda looked at all of us and he said, be happy. Just be happy. He talked a little bit more and he said, be thou happy. Just be happy. I say this to you now, be happy. And maybe like me, it will be the first time that anyone has said that. In my whole life, no one had ever said to me, be happy. Just be happy. You know, my beloved mother one day said, Francie, honey, you shouldn't be so happy. You shouldn't be so happy. You're going to get hurt if you're that happy. And it was an indication of where Connie's life had been, not where mine went or was. But that thought had stuck with me until that moment when Pranananda said, be happy. Just be happy. Now, being happy means that you have to say up here, I want to be happy. I want to be happy every day in every way. I am becoming happier. I am becoming more content. Every day in every way, I'm becoming more content. And then when, this comes out and you say, I'm going to be happy today, then your roommate or your husband or your wife or your children say, well, how is it going today? You say, today's going to be a good day. Today is going to be a good day. Make that a habit. My guru made that a habit. I mean, it really, there were days I'd say, Guruji, how are you doing? And he'd say, well, it's a good day. It's a pretty good day. Just, Some days are gooder. Some days are gooder than this one, but it's good. It's a good day. Never, never, And boy, there were plenty of days where he had to say, and I knew that, but it was a training. And so I'm suggesting to you today, train your mind. Every day in every way, I am becoming happier and happier and happier. And then train your mouth. Not to be saccharine, but to say, well, look at the goodness today. Look at the goodness. I'm here with you. It's a good day. I'm here with you. It's a good day. And then act accordingly. The obstacle, really the big obstacle to becoming happy yourself, is fear. It's fear that people are going to make fun of you, that, you're going to be happy and something bad's going to happen. It's fear that you can't be happy because nobody really likes you, because nobody will really love you. It's fear in all of these various forms. It's fear that, your brother or your sister or your colleague has more than you do, and the world isn't going to have enough. And all of these things, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. It's just a thought, Okay, I can be happy. The two young women in January of this year who put their application in for their school, their yoga school, with a Yoga Alliance in America. And they called and, the school says, well, it's going to take 8 to 12 weeks to get done. Oh, they couldn't handle that. It was too much. They went and they meditated and 2 days later, 48 hours later, they get a phone call. And an email followed by a phone call. Your application is approved. You can begin to run your school. Now, what happened? They didn't sit and moan and groan and be unhappy. I know that they were having difficulty. I know it was hard. It was hard to reach in and say, okay, in the midst of all of this, I'm going to find the way. But they drew that good karma into their lives. Now, here is the great secret to happiness, really the great secret to being happy. And that is that one must, not you, you and me, both, we both have to learn to get along with other people. Learn to be cultured. Learn to have conversation with other people. How do you do that, How are you doing? How are things going in your life? Oh, I see that you've started a new job. How do you like that? What's your favorite thing about that? What have you learned lately? Oh, what are you studying? Oh, I see that you speak many languages. Do you like language? Oh, do you enjoy cooking? What's your favorite movie? Where are you traveling to these days? What's your favorite place that you've traveled to? Anything that you can do to speak to others sincerely, genuinely, with enthusiasm, sincerity, with sincerity, not a list, I don't know why this came to mind, but in my teens, somebody fixed me up on a date. The only time that ever happened in my life. And with a boy who liked cars. I didn't know the boy. I didn't know anything about cars. So I went to the, I don't know, Walgreens, the 7-Eleven, the corner store, and looked through the magazines and got a magazine that I could study on cars. So I'd have something to talk to him about. Well, we only went on a couple of dates. It was quite boring. I was not able to break the car barrier, if you will, the communication barrier. But years later, when Kriyananda said, study everything, everything that you can, so that you can have conversation with people, I would encourage you to study everything you can. Learn different things so you can talk to people, so you can be comfortable with people. And, if you're someone like me who's more of an introvert, like I know some of you are, that's okay. You study extra hard because you can make a difference in people's lives. Your study, your learning, your working to become happy. You're working to nurture yourself, to care for yourself, to be out in nature, to be with your animals, to be with your friends, to look at the beautiful flowers, to listen to music, to eat healthy food, to drink healthy water, clean water. All of these things to improve yourself, to nurture yourself, your being, your consciousness, to improve your life will assist you. You'll be making the world a better place. And thus you have more to give, more gracefully, more graciously to others. We should never make the other person feel uncomfortable when we give to them. You should always make them comfortable. It's not easy to accept, and you should always make the other one comfortable with whatever they wish to do, however they wish to do it, if they wish to give to you. And you should learn to give also to them. Now, there's just one point that I know I need to make this morning for you. And I've been trying to grab it for 3 days now. Let's see if it'll come down. It is important on the spiritual path to observe the patterns of your mind stuff. What am I saying? It's important to observe your everyday, the nature of your everyday thinking. But to observe it without criticism. Now, I know that you've heard this before, some of you, but I'm trying to get today to an essential element of this concept. We must train the mind so that the observer is here. It's above the mind. And when thoughts arise in your mind, this consciousness above the chakra system here, here, sees it. So all you're doing is recording, aware, observing. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? No criticism. None. This allows you to see the ugliness of the mind thoughts and the great beauty and love and compassion of the mind thoughts. But we need to be able to see without judging the ugliness of the thoughts. Why? So that you can transform them, my beloved. If you cannot look at the thoughts that are rising in your mind, they're just thoughts. You happen to be relative to them for a few minutes because somebody said something, somebody did something, one of your red buttons was pushed. It's just a thought. It does not have to ruin the next 2 days, the next 50 years. It's just a thought. I was reading a wonderful book by V.S. Nepal talking about Islam and the divisions in the religion, the theology. And just this one line. It's very difficult to remember why there has been a division between you and this other group for thousands of years. You must be taught that they're the bad guy. It's all through history. You have to be taught. You have to be taught. Oh, anybody who wears blue, you got to watch out for them. Especially that shade of blue. That's a bad guy. We must be able to see the thoughts that are arising in the consciousness. And when you see the ugly thoughts, because I assure you, you will. If you don't, bless you, bless you, bless you. But I have seen a lot arise in my consciousness. The more you become aware, the more you see. And you see, and you have to say, wow, isn't that interesting? Neti, neti, neti. Let it go. Move it away from your consciousness. Do not feed cruelty. Do not feed cruelty. Do not, through feeding repetitive thoughts, repetitive speaking, do not feed cruelty. Do not be cruel. I don't know how else to say it. You know what cruelty is? Cruelty emanates from jealousy, from anger, from greed, from taking what you don't need, from denying another the pleasure of their accomplishments through your snide remarks or your, oh, maybe you said nothing snide. Maybe it was only your thoughts. Stop criticizing others and stop criticizing yourself. Just observe, 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 and let go and do something different and transform those thoughts. And realize, first comes the thoughts. May my thought be one with my word. Well, I better transform it up here before it comes out of my mouth. Take those negative thoughts and transform them before you hurt another. I think that is the best that I can do. We need to recognize the power of our mind stuff, the power of our will, the power of our practice, the power of our sadhana. You for you and me for me. You can transform your own life. The goal is to be consistent in thought, in speech, in deed. In thought, in word, in deed. In thought, in word, in deed. And when you goof, when you miss the mark, when you stumble, because you will, we all do, you stand up again and again and again and again. Do not drag others down with the temporary emotional fluctuations of your mind. You don't need to bring that into your home. You don't need to bring it to your cats and your dogs and your husbands and your wives and your children, your colleagues, your friends. Hold it. Keep it. Put it aside. Nurture yourself as you would want to be nurtured by your mother, as you were nurtured by your mother, or were not. It matters not. As you need, nurture yourself. Turn to the divine, sometimes in the feminine form, to assist you. And I will close here by saying, for those of you whose karma it is to have brought children into this earth, that is a very, very special piece of karma. For you have decided to spend part of your life energy, big part of it, enabling another soul to come to the place in the cosmos where one can find enlightenment. That's a pretty special thing to do. Whether you have done it or not, and in this incarnation I have not, let us be filled at this moment with gratitude for those women who did bring us, each of us, here. I would like to close with a meditation with you. Remember your goodness. Remember your goodness. Observe your thoughts. Correct them. Let the negative, cruel thoughts go. Correct them. Don't worry so much about correcting everybody else. It's yourself that you need. It's yourself that you have the power to do something with, something about. Namaste. Be happy. Just be happy. Go to the mirror and smile. Smile at yourself. Oh, it's a nice, kind of strange at first, but you think, wow, is that what it looks like when I smile? And the other person sees. And you don't know how to do it? Keep practicing. It improves in time. Namaste, Ji. Let us meditate. Sitting with your spine erect and your hands in the Om Mudra, the index fingers and the thumb together. Turning your head to the left and exhale twice. Bring the head back to the center. Now pulling the energy from the limbs to the trunk with your sipping breath. From the trunk to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy out as a golden ball of light in front of you. Sweep around to the left 3 times, encase your body in golden light. And now ascend. Ascend upward. Ascend to the high place. attaining the high place. Sit in meditation. See yourself in the center of the circle. Within you, and next to you if you wish, is the flame of Kriya. As you gaze into the circle, you gaze outward. You see yourself surrounded by the divine feminine. In all of her forms. You see the Bodhisattva of compassion with her 10,000 arms, shining her love towards you, pouring compassion upon you. You see the divine feminine as Sarasvati, playing the music of the cosmos to you, as Lakshmi, pouring down the wealth of beauty and love upon you. As Durga, the great protector, riding her tiger, keeping you safe. As Maria, in all of her forms, showing you her compassion. As Isis, bringing fertility to you. The circle is filled with the divine feminine. You see their faces smiling upon you, their light radiating upon you, the moon shining brightly. Om Me Padme Om. The bliss of Ananda pours forth from each form unto you. From the highest realms, the Anandic bliss pours forth upon you. Ananda, 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 Ananda. feeling yourself filled with the bliss of Ananda. Lift the light of Kriya to your sun center and see it transform into the Om, the Ah, the U, the M, and the Bindu. And bring it to your sun center, the point within your eyes. Breathe in the light and feel it pouring down your susamonic channel, down your spinal column. Feel that light filled with the radiant love of the Divine Feminine. And now in your mind's eye, bring forth the image of the woman who gave birth to you. The woman you chose as your birth mother. Using the Om Shanti mantra, feel yourself filled with gratitude. For just a moment, speak to her. Speak to her and thank her for what she's brought to your life. And now in your mind's eye, bring forth the images of all of the women who have mothered you during your life, who have nurtured you, who have taught you, who have consoled you, who have comforted you, who have helped you through difficult times. And express your gratitude to them. Speak to them. And now let us use the Om Shanti mantra as a way to send forth our gratitude to the women who have taught us, who have been mothered, who have mothered us in our lives. As you chant the mantra, feel the golden light radiate forth as a gift to them. Your earth prana, thanking them for that which they have done for you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now, if there's anything left to say to them, please do so at this time. And now one more time, the Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now seeing the circle of the Divine Feminine and all the women who have mothered you in your lives, melding into light. Let us send forth together our blessings to those upon the earth who are in need at this moment. O ye powers that be, join with us as we send forth our blessings to all who are in need of nurturing, of comfort, of consolation, of wisdom, of help, of a hand lifting up, of understanding, of patience, of kindness, of wisdom sharing. May the karma be softened for all of those who are living in harsh conditions. May the love of the Divine Feminine pour forth and soften and soften and soften the karmas. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And as I chant this mantra, feel the golden light, rings of light pouring down from your sun center, and all of the Divine Feminine sending forth and radiating golden light upon the earth, upon Mother Gaia, and upon all of those in need. Om Mane Padme Hum. Padme Om Mane Padme Om Gum Shreem Mahalakshmi Svaha. Om Gum Shreem Mahalakshmi Svaha. Om Gum Shreem Mahalakshmi Svaha. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Be thou blessed. Be thou blessed. Be thou triply blessed. Become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. And when you are ready, return to the earth plane. Namaste. Namaskar. Be thou blessed today. Thank you for your blessings. Feel the divine pouring its love upon you at this moment and always. You have my deepest respect. Shanti.